All right, so I'm reading books and I'm going to share what I've read and what I am learning through all the books that I'm going to be reading. And here is number one. Actually, it's number two. So the first book that I read yesterday is this, The Daughter of Sherlock Holmes. It's by the author named Leonard Goldberg. It follows Dr. John Watson Jr., Dr. John Watson Sr., and the alleged daughter of Sherlock Holmes, Joanna Blaylock. So it's worth a read. It took me like 3 hours to finish this. It's fun. If you like Sherlock Holmes and mysteries, this is a great book for y'all to read. But what I want to get to is that I'm doing the best I can to get as much material and much knowledge and information I can get so I can apply to either start a business or become really successful, because leaders are readers and readers are leaders if they take action with what they read. And so I wanted to share this book with you guys today. It's called In Search of Excellence by Peters and Waterman. So it boils down to 8 basic steps. And so if you want to read about this, this was originally written in the 80s. And then the edition that I have here is 2006, so it might be outdated. But it follows best practices of America's best companies around that time period. So thinking about the 80s, you have companies like 3M, Hewlett & Packard, HP. I don't know if they're doing so hot right now. I have to do my research to them. Walmart, IBM, Johnson & Johnson, so companies like that. And now I'm going to share with you guys the 8 basic principles, so boiling it back down, for that all those companies had in common. So number 1 is bias for action, so taking action. Creativity and having the knowledge is great, but actually going and doing something with it and taking the steps to make something tangible or to make a business, man, I'm losing the words. Making something happen is important. So taking the first step, actually doing something. So there, taking action. Number 2, staying close to the customer, knowing your customer, having your business surrounded by the customer, because then if you're a business, the people who end up providing money for your business and the people that you're providing products and services for are your customers. So getting to know them, learning about them, being committed to the customer helps out big businesses survive. Number 3, autonomy and entrepreneurship. So even if you're in a big company, having smaller divisions, something that can be seen as informal. So small is beautiful is something that's brought up over and over. Small is beautiful. Giving the employees and departments ability to be innovative, to be their own like entrepreneur division, to think and to create. So giving them autonomy to do that, and tolerance for failure. So when it comes to developing new products, like for 3M, who has thousands of products, that was an example given. So in this book, tons of examples from these companies that were written there. But again, autonomy and entrepreneurship, and having the divisions work somewhat independently, but you have these core values and you have these mission, you have the mission of the company, and working on that, but giving them autonomy and being competitive. That's another great thing. Productivity through people. So respecting the individual, respecting your employees, because those are the people that are working for you. Nowadays, AI is emerging, right? So, but until AI can actually take the place of a person, of a human being, respecting and taking care of your employees, that's like one of the best and greatest assets that companies have. So that chapter focuses on people, on the employees of the company. 5 is hands-on and being value-driven. So having let's set and clarified values that help run the company, and going back to that. And that also goes back to the leaders being able to express what the company values are and have it be integrated throughout the entire company. Next is stick to the knitting. So doing what the business does best and not really diverging too far away from that. That's stick to the knitting. Number 7, simple form and like a lean staff. So not something that's just way too complex, even though they go through different organizational structures in this book, and they bring about a alternative structure system for successful companies based on all the companies they looked at. They call it structure of the 80s. It's based on 3 different pillars. And again, this book was written in the 80s and it's revamped to 2006. So it has some really good points there that I think that a company or business can learn from. And number 8 is simultaneous loose and tight properties. So I know that those are like conflicting, loose and tight, but it talks about being tight in certain things, like having company culture that's tight, company values that are clarified and rigid, so that everyone knows that. But the loose part comes in, like, again, giving autonomy and ability to employees and divisions to not necessarily fail, because then fail can lead to failure in the business, but to innovate and create new things and just improve the company, the product or service. And yeah, and so if you want to look into this, you know, they go over big companies like, again, IBM, McDonald's, Disney, Walmart, and they brought these 8 basic principles. So here's another review. The 8 basic principles are: bias for action, staying close to the customer. That's number 2. Number 3, autonomy and entrepreneurship. Number 4, productivity through people. Number 5, hands-on and value-driven. Number 6, stick to the knitting. Number 7, simple form, you know, lean staff. And number 8, simultaneous, loose and tight. So I'm gonna continue to do this, and I'm gonna read more books and share what I've learned with you all. If you find this helpful, I recommend this book, or if you're a friend of mine, just let me know. Maybe I could send this to you. If you live close to me, you can have it, because I've read it, I wrote down my notes, I think I took down what I found important and valuable to me, and I'm willing to pass this off. So knowledge is power. It's power when it is applied and put into action. So just knowing it is great, sure, but it might not get you many places until you put it into action. So I'm doing that here, making a video, and hopefully this was valuable to you. If it was, you know, let me know if it did, and if there's any way I can improve further videos and stuff like that, I can definitely do that too. So thank you for watching. Take care until next time. This is your boy Bobby Amagan, and I'm reading and sharing what I got with you. Peace.